Just want to talk about OMI a little bit and why I think OMI is an incredible utility coin. Like I said, they did not pay me to talk to you guys about them. This is just something I'm heavily invested in, and obviously I bought it a little high.
So I met Pro the Doge this weekend, and I asked him about OMI. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, this is actually an OMI token, a physical. I've had it for a while. Shout out to Devron. So this video is going to be more storytelling based. If you've watched my recent content, I've tried editing a little bit more, adding more transitions, more music, all that fun stuff. But in this one, this is for my core following that might have came from the OMI VV ecosystem, might have came from the crypto ecosystem, wherever you came from. This is a storytelling video. So I met Pro the Doge last week. I was at a conference. I was helping run media for FinCon. It's a financial content creators conference, and it was down in New Orleans, which really isn't super far from where I live. I shot video, ran podcasts, talked with other creators, attended sessions. It was awesome. On one of the nights, I actually didn't even know this going in, but they premiered a documentary that will be featuring Pro the Doge. He's one of the main people in it. It's him and 3 other people that are the main stars of the documentary that's coming out on December 1st about, it's called Dumb Money. Oh, no, it's called This Is Not Financial Advice. And what the concept of the show is basically these people that put a lot into crypto, let it run all the way up and then let it run all the way down. Some of them cashed out towards the top. Others cashed out on the way down, and others, like Pro the Doge, did not cash out at all. It was actually a really well put together documentary, very professional. It's going to be on Apple and it's going to be on Spotify, and I believe it gets enough traction. It will actually be on bigger platforms. And again, I definitely recommend watching if you've been involved with the crypto space for a while, because you're going to hear a lot of names that sound familiar, like obviously Doge. You're going to hear Mana with Decentraland, a lot of other things mentioned, and you're going to see some events like Elon speaking on SNL and a lot of other things that went on that you're probably familiar with. So it's a good watch. It brought me down memory lane. I actually sold a lot of Doge like right before Elon went and spoke on SNL, because to me it was buy the rumor, sell the news, and it very much was that for Doge. Obviously, going back, I wish I would have bought and sold a bigger bag. I was up substantially on percentage-wise, but it wasn't a ton of money to begin with, but it was still a nice little cut. Reeling it back in, I got to meet some really cool people. I met Larry Jones. He made one of the largest videos on SHIB on YouTube. He has over 600,000 subscribers, mainly talks about stocks based on a lot of other crypto content as well. And I met Pro the Doge. Both of them I had conversations with, quite a few. Pro the Doge, I was able to talk with him a little bit before and after they premiered his show, and I had to ask them the question for all my homies out there, which is, what's his thoughts still on OMI? He made a video that I played at the beginning of this video talking about OMI and the OMI token and ecosystem. So I just went straight for the punch and said, hey man, you still holding OMI? And what are your thoughts on it? And his answer might not be super exciting, but essentially is he's still holding. He bought $15,000, I think, over a year ago from the video that I shared at the beginning that you can go watch. And he's still holding. He's not happy, obviously, but he did, buy a very high, and we are very low right now, like most crypto. And we sort of talked about some of the things that happened around OMI. A lot of things I've been very transparent with in other videos on my channel, which you could watch above or towards the end of this video. And ultimately, I was trying to tell him that I still think that utility can play into the OMI token, that we had the OMI Day 0 event happen to where OMI actually plays into the Master Collector program, and how it's still, obviously heavily tied into the VV ecosystem. And we talked a little bit about that. And he didn't sound like he was like really staying in tune and in touch with everything that was going on. So hopefully the brief conversation we had about it like benefited him a little bit and kind of, gave him more insight to like, hey, they are still caring, they are still developing, and some of the things that you might have heard, I can't really mention names on here because I don't want to be involved in any lawsuits, but some of the names you might have heard that might have done things with the token, a lot of them aren't even involved with the project anymore. So basically just trying to inform him on where we are right now currently with the token. I asked him straight up if Andre Jick was still holding the token, and he said yes, which I believe Andre has been transparent on his, when Millennial Money was a thing, on his podcast about it. And so apparently Andre is still holding as well. I'm sure you guys saw, and I covered this, but as far as all of the drama with CoffeeZilla, Logan Paul, all that stuff, one of my main problems was it looked like Logan Paul allegedly pumped the token via his podcast. and either Logan or the other people involved might have dumped during that March 2021 pump, which we've never recovered from fully to where we were. But it looks like, at least, even though Andre was covering the token during that time, he like stepped out of his comfort zone to do an altcoin besides Bitcoin. And of course, he like talked about Ethereum and stuff. He did probably contribute to that huge amount of growth. I mean, if you're watching this video right now, you might have originally came from Andre's content, even though I was commenting on a lot of his videos, telling him about OMI because he was looking for tokens at the time. But that's kind of the update on that. So Pro is still holding, Andre is still holding. I think they're both. I mean, Andre, I think his investment was $300,000 or something like that. Pro's was $15,000, which Pro's is still a higher percentage of probably his net worth than Andre's is. Also, the film, like I said, going back to it, was really good. It was mainly just talking about how he bought and held through the whole thing and all the way back down as far as Doge goes. I think my main takeaway from the interaction is that if the team pulls it together and really creates strong utility for the OMI token, I don't think it's out of the equation for Pro to come back. He never got paid for promotion, as you mentioned at the beginning of this video. I don't think it's against anything for him to make more videos on it. Andre, I'm not entirely sure if he'll do another video on OMI or not. That's like to be said. And I'm not really saying that OMI token necessarily needs these videos, but just, you know, if it can get more eyes, more ears later on as utility is pushed out, hopefully as it's pushed out. The two things I want to make clear in this video is I'm not promoting a financial asset. I'm not saying go buy OMI. I'm just saying I had a conversation with Pro the Doge about it. The second thing I want to make clear is I'm not even promoting Pro the Doge necessarily. There's controversial opinions on them. Matter of fact, right before recording this video, there was a thread by Zach XBT, you know, talking about him. As far as all that goes, I don't really have a strong opinion about it. I liked Pro's story a lot. He came from nothing and really leveraged and risked it for Doge to actually make something out of himself. I learned a lot about him. He didn't have a green card. He's from Brazil, I believe, and it was hard for him to sustain a job because he couldn't get a job because he didn't have the credentials as far as like having an ID or having citizenship or anything like that. So yeah, he took a leap to make it, and he kind of did. So it was a very interesting come up story for him. I definitely recommend watching the documentary. If you aren't familiar with what I mentioned as far as CoffeeZilla calling OMI a pump and dump and calling out Logan for being a part of this, you can check out this video right here.